competition is great. We want competition, because if there is competition out there, it means you're not alone trying to tell people why they should be interested in your field at all.
Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and wisdom of how they sold their first million.
How would you like to achieve your first million? And today is joining Carl from Sweden, and he's the founder of ReSocialize. So Carl, tell us, what are the 5 steps to make your first million?
That's a wonderful question, Harry. And going from 0 to 1 is one of the hardest things you can do professionally. It's one thing to have an idea. It's another thing to be at $1 million in revenue. But these 5, and I'm going to add a 6th one for bonus, are what I'm doing, what I'm looking at. And the first step, you need a clear idea, plan, and most importantly, process. If you're just flailing around doing random things, talking to random people, you might make a couple of sales, but it won't be something that you can scale and repeat and take it all the way. When you've got that, you need to start building genuine relationships and be curious, reach out to people. Don't only look for the short-term wins, but try to understand the problems that they're actually facing and how you solve them. Because when you're going from 0 to 1, at 0, you have this idea that people want to buy a product or that they're facing a certain problem. This journey is all for you to figure out what that idea, what that solution actually looks like. And if you're not listening to people, if you're not curious, if you're not trying to figure out how you can help them, then you'll be pushing a solution that people won't come back and keep buying. And if you want to make it up to $1 million, you need people coming back, because it's hard enough to get new sales as it is. You don't need to be fighting a high churn rate. When you've got these things, you know you have your plan and process in place. You know why people want to build, and you're building long-term relationships with people where they come back and say, you know what, now I'm actually ready to buy. Then you need to make it easy for them to buy. The entire sales process, there are so many sales leaders out there that are building a sales process around what the salespeople are doing. Okay, now I'm booking a demo. Now I'm making calls. Now I'm pushing an offer out. Just because you send an offer doesn't mean that somebody's anywhere near buying. Sure, it fits neatly into your process, but it doesn't have anything to do with buying. If you make it easy for people to buy on their time frame and when they're ready for it, that's when you start actually getting business. Because no matter how much urgency, fake urgency you're creating, people see through that right away. When you've got this, you've got a process that aligns with the buyer, start measuring the things that actually matter. And I'm not talking about calls made. I'm not talking about demos booked, because once again, I can send out demos to anybody. It doesn't mean they're interested. But if I start measuring the things that actually matter, conversations had, prospects in my ICP that understand how my value affects their business, people excited for the opportunity of working together and asking for the proposal, well, that's when we can start measuring actual impact and start going down into the process itself and iterating, refining it, and making it basically a no-brainer for anybody to pick up and go. And when you've got that, when you're measuring the right things, do more of what works. That's when you start being ready to pick on salespeople. That's when you start being ready to scale. That's when you start knowing the process inside and out. And that's when you're ready to take the next step. You've gone from 0 to 1 to 100K. Now we're building for 1 million, and the next step is 10 million. That's when you start looking at these new stages and steps. That's when you start iterating.
Wow.
And I did
the bonus.
I did promise you a bonus. You're right. Do what nobody else is doing, but what everybody understands.
Wow, I love it.
It doesn't help if you're doing something different if nobody gets why that matters. But if everybody instantly understands it and nobody else is doing it, that's where you should be.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing, Carl. And let's go into detail, because now you share with me that you are in Sweden, in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by trees, but you building global company and working with the global company from your desk, from this very desk that you're speaking with me. So wow, that's amazing how the world has changed. So tell us, why, how you do that, how you're building a tech company literally from your lovely place, because I think I've been there in Sweden and it's beautiful, the landscape and everything. But people back in the day, to have a company you need to have an office, and then you need to see the face of the people, and you need to interact with them, and this is how you grow. And now you have a tech company, yeah, that you're running with the name is ReSocialize. So tell us a little bit more how you build that company, and if it's really possible to build a global business from your desk.
So the idea for the company came when me and my wife were working in Ireland at the time with one of the global search engines, where when suddenly the pandemic hit, early 2020, everything shut down. We were locked into our homes, not literally, but there was a very strict lockdown enforced. We all shared variations of this experience, right? Mm-hmm. And we weren't too poorly affected because of our life circumstance at the time, but everybody we knew, everybody we spoke with was miserable. We had the people who'd moved to Ireland, like us, to build life in a new country, who were suddenly locked out of society because they were supposed to stay indoors. We had people starting university who didn't get to make any friends because everything moved online. They didn't get to know anybody. We had friends sharing desks in the same office who'd speak daily, who hadn't spoken for months because they didn't have any reason to book meetings with each other. And there were so many people that were miserable in this experience. So we decided to build ReSocialize to make that experience better. And the entire concept of ReSocialize is that remote work needs to be better. This pandemic, this experience showed us, it proved to us that remote work works pretty well. It proved that we have new challenges with remote work. There are things we need to figure out. We need to learn how to do it. But overall, it worked pretty well. And one of those major challenges is, how do we stay connected? How do we connect professionally? How do we stay engaged? And like you're saying, the old way to run a company was get an office and get everybody in there. And I agree with that. But I don't agree that the office needs to be a physical space. And we created ReSocialize to be a virtual office, an online office, a place to have these exact connections, to have this exact experience without everybody being stuck in the same place. So you could have your team spread out over countries, over markets, over continents. It doesn't matter, but you can always stay connected and just walk over to the desk and talk to finance or talk to IT or talk to marketing, because they're at the desk next to you, even if they're working from another continent.
Amazing. That's fantastic. Let me tell you our experience in our company, and this was true story. Yeah, in our first company, we managed to save 5 million. It was real estate company. One day, you see, well, firstly, one day I arrived to the office and my team told me, "Harry, we don't need you anymore. Go home." Yeah. And we can run this company without you, which was something amazing, yeah, because I didn't like to go to the office, yeah, and I literally was not needed. But I'm thinking, I didn't like to go to the office. I go because I had to go, but I didn't like, yeah, and I went to the team regardless that they didn't want me in the office, yeah. I went and asked them, "Guys, do you really like to come here?" And because I don't like it, honestly, to wake up, to take the metro, and then to come here, I particularly don't like it. Do you like? And then I find out that nobody wants to go to the office. I'm telling you, 16 years ago, yeah. And I'm thinking, look, I don't like to go to the office. You guys don't like to go to the office here. why we all, everybody work from home, and and then I don't pay for the office. How about that? This is what actually happened, and we have been working here so long like that when the pandemic came, our team, they were like, it didn't change anything of anything that we were doing before, because we all were working remote. We managed to use software, I don't know, like Signable, that you can sign the contract, so now you don't need to print the paper and to sign the contract. We find little tools out there that actually we can literally run the company, all the processes remotely, and it was amazing, especially when you have in a company, you want the best talent, you want the best people for your company, and sometimes they're not in where you live. Sometimes it could be in US, they can be, we have people working with our organization from different countries, because we believe that they're the best in what they do. So it's opened a new window for productivity, a new window for people to find the best talent. However, building a tech company is a challenge. So how, and especially the question I want to ask you is the following, because 1 out of 5 people that come to this show, 5 Steps How to Make Your First Million Unstoppable, 1 out of 5, 1 out of 6, they are either property entrepreneur or they are tech entrepreneurs. And people might have the misconception, right, that wow, if so many tech people and so many property investors are going to Harry's show, it's easy to make $1 million in in a tech space or in the real estate. So what is, because you shared something very profound, like if you have a product that is so unique and nobody understands, you're not gonna come across. And we always listen the stories like you. We only listen the success stories, but people are failing out there in the highest rate. Some of them they're using all the money they have, remortgaging their houses, and putting all the energy, time, and effort in a product that, because they're not speaking with the client, they're not speaking with the customer, they cannot reshape it, and the company collapse, and it's sad. So what is the message that you have for tech entrepreneurs out there that they are suffering at the moment?
So apart from founding and leading and working with ReSocialize, I also do freelance work where I help founders, both tech and sales founders, take this step from 0 to 1. And
wow, amazing.
That's an excellent question, because it's so easy to just look at the people who succeed and say, I want to do that, and not realize how much luck might be involved. We don't like to talk about that, but it's huge. You can do all the right things and still, for whatever reason, not succeed.
Absolutely.
How many times they've pivoted, what they've changed along the way, what they've struggled with. There's so many obstacles, and we learned so much more from our failures than we do from success. Absolutely. Because it's so easy to attribute success to, I was so great, of course I would succeed, and I worked so hard. Yeah, well, everybody else worked hard as well, and they didn't.
Exactly. So it's not that.
The difference here. And there are 2 parts that I would like to bring out to early stage founders looking at taking the step from 0 to 1, which, once again, is the most challenging thing you'll ever do. Growing from 1 to 1 million is much easier than going from 0 to 1. Going from 1 to 1 million it's not easy anyway, but 0 to 1, there's so much respect to be earned there.
Absolutely.
And the first is to look at the competitive landscape. People are afraid of competition. They shouldn't be. Competition is great. We want competition, because if there is competition out there, it means you're not alone trying to tell people why they should be interested in your field at all.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.